All right. We are streaming to YouTube. Are we recording yet? We're recording. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I'm Adam Grace. We're glad you're here at Afternoon Astonishment from Conjuror Community, the world's best magic club. Today I'm here with Alexander Slimmer, and Aaron Fisher has the day off today, as well as Steve Barcelona has the day off. So we're going to look at some great magic. We're going to pick up where we left off on Tuesday. No, sorry. Actually, last night. I'm so sorry. Alex, last night at our show at Conjure Community, we watched one of Charlie's new tricks, didn't we?
It's true. We got a little taste of Charlie Frye last night in our product show, and he's really just an outstanding magician. He does all of it, and all of it looks flawless in his hands. And I'm a fan. I think Charlie's one of the great modern magicians, and you can catch Charlie working in casinos. Like, he's literally one of the guys out there working right now. And the material we're going to see today is a good taste of the kind of magic you would see in that show, along with other things. I mean, he does some juggling feats, and you'll see that some of his stuff, the lines get blurred. It's as much being a clown as it is being a magician in some cases. And it's very entertaining and very fun. Probably the best thing to do would just be to jump into this thing, and we'll talk about it on the other side. We'll get a good taste of Charlie to start with.
Charlie Frye. Charlie Frye, everybody.
Cards and Dice, the Devil's Prayer Book, and the Devil's Bones. In this effect, you're going to arrange 4 dice in a square, with their numbers 1 through 4 uppermost. Now lay 1 playing card atop each die, and watch what happens. 2's company, 3's a crowd. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. 3 cards, 3 dice, 1 more makes 4. Few effects combine juggling and magic so superbly as dice stacking. If you find that the surface you're working on is unsuitable for stacking, then I suggest you use your head.
Pretty outstanding, right?
Yeah, man. That is, wow. Like, that's hours. That's hours.
Years, I think. Yeah, I tried to learn the dice stacking at one point. I had a couple friends that were good at it, and I gave up on the quest because it's as hard as juggling is. And I remember when I first learned how to juggle, it took me a long time to for my brain to process how to get 3 balls to go in the air and make juggling really happen. And I had a lot of the same flavors going when I was trying to learn the dice stacking, so I let it go. But that assembly at the beginning with the dice, boy, oh boy, that is just a stunning magic effect. I love it so much.
It really is, man. Now, growing up, I don't remember seeing Charlie at magic conventions and stuff like that. Did he work the circuit a lot?
I think that Charlie started to really work in the mid 2000s and on, where he was working at casinos and so forth. Before that, I hadn't really heard of Charlie before either. He had small things that he put out for the magic community called eccentrics. They were little booklets that had gags and stunts and magic tricks folded in, and then eventually became a collection of videos, which is sort of where we're hanging out today. But I hadn't seen him before that. To me, he was totally unknown, and it was just a surprise. Whoa, where did this guy come from? Just out of nowhere. And he's keeping that sort of vaudeville look of magic alive, that look of, when people were working in the vaudeville circuit. It's a lot of that same kind of language and a lot of the art that's around him and the way he dresses. It's sort of keeping that spirit alive. which I think is wonderful. There's a lot of beautiful things that came out of vaudeville that are still traditions that are carried on today. So very cool, very cool.
Robert says that early on he was a clown, so I guess he went to clown school and went down that path as well.
It shows. It shows. I mean, there's a lot of those artifacts are there in his magic. The clown stuff, you can see it's around, and it to me, it's like adding spice to the whole thing. You know, it makes it just a little bit more lively. You know, when he's doing magic and those aspects are there, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty good combo.
Is it the physicality that you're really talking about, like the way that his physicality really sells the trick?
And also his expressions, and like you can see that there's definitely like a inner monologue that's going on as he's doing these things, and you can see moments of frustration that become exaggerated through, you know, facial expressions and then these body expressions, and you know, it's all of it. It's pretty good. He has it wrapped in there, so it's because a lot of the times we saw this, there was like a voiceover. It's him doing a voiceover for the trick, but a lot of times he's working silent, right? He's working with music, and you know, he's using those moments of frustration to sort of color the thing. So you get, you break up the action. It's not just silence and the music, you know? So it's good. It's a good combo. And he's definitely watching himself, you know, when he creates something, he's watching and seeing what that looks like and making sure that he's either got a director or he's directing himself. He's able to see what those things need. And he's very conscious of himself and knows what the act needs from the performer. And he's able to apply it. It's really, really a great case study.
The other thing is about Charlie is that we're learning, or I'm learning, is that he's really kind of a master of lots of different kinds of magic. And in this next clip, he's going to take a completely different classic prop and blow us away equally, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to see he's got a great way to get into this classic piece, and then you'll see that he's one of the best practitioners that you've seen of this, if you've ever seen this effect before. It's pretty wonderful. Let's take a look.
Wow.
Wow is right.
You're right.
That's hard work that he was doing to make all that ball magic happen. That's as hard as it gets for stand-up magic on stage, you know? And he made that look like it was just nothing, like there was no effort at all. Really wonderful.
It kind of reminds me when we watched Simon Drake do that brilliant dancing cane routine, and everybody was so shocked, like, what? Like, it kind of reminds me, like, you don't realize how much work goes into a routine like that. Like that really, wow, that's something. Yeah.
Hard work. And not only that, he was using the biggest size ball that you could to do that trick, right? Which makes it extra hard, more visible, right? It reads from the back of a theater, but boy, that's some work. That guy is very skillful. It's really, really amazing. And he probably doesn't get props for being as skillful as he is with that thing. People probably just go, oh yeah, he does the billiard balls, but boy, wow. It's good.
The balloon thing, like getting into that, using the balloon, that is really cool.
You know what's really bizarre? You know where that comes from?
Where?
Phil Goldstein. Max Maven invented that, dude.
Really?
Totally. Isn't that awesome? It's so good, man.
I did not know that.
Really cool. Really cool.
You don't think about Max releasing or inventing something, that like.
It was probably early on. Early on. He might have still been Phil at that point, right? But it's wonderful piece. But it's very much like a clown piece, right? Where that ball shows up and it's vanishing and he's blowing it back in, and then it becomes that ball to start the trick. It's boy.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been a clown piece, but to me, that sure did feel like magic. Like, I was watching that ball, I was watching that come off the balloon, go back and appear, and it was fooling me. Like, my eye was not seeing the method in any way. It was really great.
I don't think you can. Yeah, if you don't know what that thing is, it's pretty startling because it's like a weird physics thing that makes that happen that is hidden by sleight of hand. It's really a phenomenal little thing. It's pretty beautiful.
That's really good. House of the fakeini balls. Yes, Joe, you're right. We all prefer those fakeini. I love those fakeini.
They were the ones. Now they're defunct. There is no more House of Fakini, but they made all of the best silicon balls that were on the market at one point. Now it's like there's a couple different companies that sort of have covered that product line. Like you can get the small ones that you use for like the ball trick, like Johnny Thompson does, or these billiard balls, but it's a different vendor. But the quality is totally there. Like you can find in the modern era, you can find billiard balls that are like the perfect prop for doing this trick if you wanted to do this trick. You just have to look a little bit and make sure you're looking at opinions and do your homework. But you can find props these days that are better than they've ever been. Is the essence of all of that, right? It's amazing. In the modern era, there's good props.
So is this next piece a card piece that we're gonna watch?
This is actually just what looks like a regular old card trick with. Again, he's brought his voiceover in, so it's like he's having a conversation with himself and almost like he's learning while he's performing this trick for us.
Oh, so cool.
It's cool.
Cool. All right, let's check it out. Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. That's all well and good, but when are we finally going to get to a card trick? Have no fear, that time is now. In this next effect, you're going to demonstrate your mastery of cards by taking the standard pick-a-card effect and making a mess out of it. First, have someone select a card. Next, have them cut the deck, and back it goes. Make sure they don't forget their card. Many magicians are experts in finding lost cards, no matter where they are in the deck. But since you're obviously not, try this. Toss the deck in the air, and give it a flourish or two. Now you create a giant fan by weaving one half of the deck in with the other. Very impressive. Here goes everything. I want you to throw the cards high into the air and try and catch the one they selected. Don't give me that look. Do it. Now you ask, what was your card? Have you ever had one of those days when nothing seemed to go right? Yeah, me neither.
Really
Great.
That's really great. It's like that is definitely my preferred method for the card catch too. Like what a great handling and but did he just bust out a pharaoh? Oh,
He
I mean,
did. You need to do the pharaoh to do the big jumbo fan like that. Yeah.
it was but he
But
had no hesitation. It was just like pop.
and that's the way it is with all of the complex sleight of hand that you see Charlie do. It's like he's breathing. It's like no big deal. It's like that. It's like the ball routine we just watched, right? Like looked effortless. It looked like he's just doing nothing. He's just holding up an object and magic starts to happen. That's the ideal. If you can get there, that's ideal. It's really a good lesson.
So that's a cool concept too. That this idea of like the magician is following some instructions. You know, first do this, and I've seen versions of that before. I've seen some really bad versions of that idea before too, that didn't work. But this one worked. I thought it was really great.
There's a famous one. There's a famous one that cruise ships won't let you do anymore, right? Because every magician was doing it. Remember the one, the folding bandana trick, but it was everyone did it with a banana, like they misheard the recording and they were folding up a banana inside of someone's wallet and putting it in their purse, but it was supposed to be bandana. And like cruise ships there was a request, like, if you're a magician and you're going to be working the ship, you can't do the banana trick and you can't do the bowling ball from the sketch pad trick. We've seen it enough. There's no more.
That's pretty bad whenever the cruise ship won't let you do it. Oh, that's bad. Oh
Yeah,
my
man.
gosh. Yeah, we'd love for you to come work Carnival Cruise. No bowling ball.
And no banana.
Banana bandana. Is that what it's
Yeah.
called?
Well, it's the same thing as this, where there's like a voiceover that's going and it says, now take the banana and fold it and put it inside the thing, right? And it's like, wait a second, I thought it was supposed to be a bandana. It's like a miscommunication between the voiceover and the performer. And it gets laughs all the way through, because it's like, you know, one doesn't know that the other one has the other thing, and like, you know, looks of confusion and, you know, oh, I'm going to create a mess the whole way through. And you're not speaking when you're doing this, right? You're just listening to the instructions and doing what the instructions tell you to do, right? It's pretty funny. And if you haven't seen it, it's very funny. But if you've seen it, you go, oh no, not the banana trick. Clearly, like the cruise ships did.
Not the banana trick.
There was someone who tried it on Fool Us. How did that go?
Yeah. Not well. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. It really is funny. That is funny.
Totally. So speaking of effortless and watching Charlie Frye do amazing sleight of hand magic that just looks unexplainable, let's watch this next one. You'll see how he handles some coins.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's a very good way to put it, Robert. He's a mighty casual coin star. Man, he's got the really great.
All of it. Very casual. And I think that contributes to the mystery and just how fooling all these effects are, right? Because it just seems like it's just nonchalant. He's just holding an object and magic is just happening around him. Like, great picture to be given to your audience. I love it. Really cool.
That routine had such a combination of downs, palms, and thumb clips. I mean, it was just every version of every hard, thing there is in stage coin work. And then he puts a coin on his foot, throws it up, and catches it in his eyelid. That was real. There was no trick there. I'm pretty sure he did that, right?
Yeah, he caught that in his eye socket. He really did do that. And when he talks about how to do it, he says, no, you just put it on your foot, you toss it up in the air, and you catch it on your face. This will take some practice. And that's as far as he goes.
There really is a sense that he's got such tremendous skill, and as a juggler too. I mean, really,
yeah,
he's looking for every opportunity to put all those skills together, really to accentuate where he's, where his strong suits are. It's a good example of too, like when you're, and this doesn't really apply to Charlie, but like if you do have a strong suit, it's a good to make sure that you always show that, you always play to your strengths.
It's funny that you say that because he does. I sort of put the slant on magic today, right? But in his collection, he definitely teaches how to do some juggling things. Like, for instance, he's sitting in a chair and he gets a sheet of newspaper that he's reading, and he's able to like pull it and make it seem like it's rigid, and he balances on his nose, right? It's a sheet of newspaper, a single sheet of newspaper, and he literally balances on his nose, holds it there, and then he rips it out of the air. And then he grabs the chair that he's sitting on and balances that on his head, and then catches it behind him, sits down on it, and pulls out another newspaper and as if he was reading the entire time, right? And it looks as effortless as all the magic that we're watching. It's just, again, I tried to stay magic centric in this because, we are looking at magic mostly here. But the juggling is just as magical in a way as the magic is. He's an amazing talent. He's just
Let's take a quick poll.
Very strong, talented guy.
Quick poll with our members here who are here. Put a 1 in chat if you've ever attempted juggling. If you've ever attempted to learn juggling. If you've ever tried it. Curious. Because I spent a good part of my childhood learning juggling. It was like one of the.
And did you work it out?
I mean, yeah, so I could do 3 balls and 4 balls, but I could also do three pins, But
you could do the pins. Wow,
I could do the pins.
Really went far with it. That's awesome. Okay.
I could do the pins, and there's something that happens like when you achieve 3-ball juggling, you feel really good about yourself. I think I might have been 9 or 10 years old when I learned how to 3-ball juggle. And you always keep the skill. Like once you learn it, you'll be able to do it your whole life. Mm-hmm. But 4 balls, different story.
Oh yeah.
Like different technique, different story. And then you see guys that do 6, 7, 8, 9. With each that has a different system to it that you kind of have to remember.
Yeah.
But I watched Charlie juggle 4. I've seen him juggle 4 coins now. And I've seen him juggle for something else just a second ago. I don't know what it was. It was in the one.
It was the dice. The dice in the
beginning. The dice, yeah. And it's hard. I mean, juggling 4 light items is very, very difficult. Very difficult.
I argue that 3 is difficult. It took me I didn't learn juggling until I was in my late teens, and it literally took me 6 months to a year to learn how to do it. My brain wouldn't compute what it took to do the thing. It wouldn't let go of that 3rd ball, so they would all be in the air at the same time. You know what I mean? My brain was short circuiting when I was trying to do it, and eventually I got there. I was able to do it, but to me it was like a hurdle. I had to train my mind as much as I had to train my limbs to be a juggler, and to try to do 4, I was like, yeah, I'm cool with 3. I got 3. I'm good with that. I'm going to leave it at that. And I got real good at 3, and I haven't gone anywhere past that. I've left it at that. I'm impressed that you learned pins, man. I mean, that's difficult. I remember watching a friend learning pins, and I watched him bonk his head a couple times. I mean, there were the lightweight ones when you start, but you literally hit yourself a couple times when you're learning how to make those things flip and catch them so that you can do the whole thing. Whew, way out of my league. I'm impressed, dude. That's cool that you learned that.
Oh yeah, I definitely broke a mirror in my bedroom the first day, and then my mother was like, "Yeah, you're gonna do that outside." So it was
Right,
like,
Mom.
yeah, clubs, not pins. Yeah, you're right, Robert. And it's funny because Joe Gordon says swords. And does that mean you juggle swords, Joe? Were you just saying that, or can you juggle swords? And what about David? Chainsaws. Are you able to juggle chainsaws, David? Is that what I'm understanding here? I used to
Whoa.
go watch the Flying Karamazov brothers. You ever heard of them, Alex?
I have, yes.
So they had a New York stint on Broadway when I was living in New York City, and I was working in the Broadway industries in the theaters there, and I got to watch the Flying Karamazov brothers like 30 or 40 performances in a row one
That's
season.
awesome.
And they would have this bit where they would let people bring things from the audience, at the end of the show, like bring anything you want and we'll juggle it. And it was always the lightest objects. Like people would bring a feather, and that was the hardest. I remember him saying that was the hardest thing to juggle, was something that was really light.
Right, because you have to time it for when that thing falls and you can actually catch it. Wow, right, of course.
It's really hard. So just watching somebody juggle 3 coins, like it's definitely difficult. And then when you start to get lighter than that, like dice, pretty difficult. So I've
But
got
at least
mad
the
respect.
dice, are rigid. A feather is nothing. You can't even tell if it's in your hand barely. Wow.
That's right. Yeah, I've got mad respect for Charlie Frye today. That's for sure.
You're gonna love this next one. This is gonna blow your mind because it's just his handling on this classic thing. You're gonna love it, man. Let's just watch it. I won't say anything. Let's watch it. This is great.
Hey, cups and balls time! Oh boy! Just what you've been waiting for. 3 cups, 3 balls, nothing more, nothing less, more or less. Classic props with which to perform classic feats of sleight of hand, the oldest, most difficult form of magic, the kind that separates the Siegfrieds from the Roys. If you would please point to a cup, we'll get this nonsense underway. Wise choice. What's going to happen is a solid ball is going to pass through a solid cup to join the ball beneath on the table, just like that. Please, hold your applause. Twice as difficult this time. Through not 1, but 2 cups. Solid. Passing through solid. I know what you're thinking. Anybody can pass solids. So enough of the old crap. Let me show you some new crap. Keep your eye on the cup with the booger in it, ball in it, as I do a move that proves the hand is quicker than the eye. Would you like to see it again? Okay, one more time. This is it. That's it. Don't worry. See if you can follow the one with the ball in it. I'm gonna make it easy on you. Switch them around. Lot right numbers. Any idea? Guess again. The one in the middle? A lot of people guess the one in the middle. That way they're only one off. It's right here. Sucker. Oops. I'm sorry, you mind if I start over? 3 cups and 3 balls. Better yet, we'll narrow it down to just 2 cups and 2 balls, because there's something unnatural about 3 balls. So we have 1 there and we have 1 there, unless I palm it out like so, hold it in a very natural looking position, and stash it in an inconspicuous place. Hold on. Oh, it's gonna hurt. Voila. That's French for voila. 2 there, 2's company. 3's a crowd. Now we're right back to where we started. 3 cups and 3 balls. Any questions? I'm sorry, that's all the time we have for questions. Which brings me to my favorite part of the trick, the part that requires absolutely no balls whatsoever to perform, which is why I do it so well. Just 3 cups. Point to one, I'll put a ball right under your nose. So pick that cup, put your nose up. Pick your nose and put your cup. Point to... Do something, I don't care what you do, just point to a cup. Done. There is now a ball right there, but it's very, 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 very tiny. Here, I'll make it bigger. And that's what you call a big finish.
Bravo, bravo, Charlie.
Yeah.
Really tough routine. Well done, huh?
Yeah. And again, he's put the juggling in there as color, right? To color the whole thing and give it just a little bit more character. I feel like you could probably just watch that one cups and balls routine and you get a taste of like, that's who Charlie is as a person and as a performer. You know, it's great. It does everything that routine's supposed to do. Shows that he's just a master, you know?
Really, really great clips today, Alex. Really great. We're going to take it to the after show, guys. If you're watching this live on Facebook or YouTube, well, we want to say thanks. Appreciate you joining us, and do us a quick favor. Hit subscribe. Come on, that's the least you can do. And click follow. That way you'll be notified next time we go live. So we'll be back in a couple of days. Thank you so much.